How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How's everyone else doing? So,
We are all well, Michael. Where are you calling in from? I know this, but let's just so the audience knows.
I'm actually calling in from Long Beach, New York, suburbs of New York City.
Awesome. So we went from Lebanon to Israel to the great state of New York on you said Long Beach? Long Beach?
Yeah,
Okay.
City
All
by
right.
the Sea, Robert De Niro. How bad of an area it used to be. Now it's all billion. Now it's all $1 million homes
Is
after
it?
Hurricane Sandy and COVID. Yep.
Is it? Okay. Good. Well, it's always good to have Robert De Niro close. I'm sure he's also very good at elevator pitching. Um, So, Michael, we're going to do the same thing. Okay. You've seen kind of the drill. We have 1 minute, and you're working on something really, you have a very interesting product. Okay. And what I would like you to do is leverage the 1 minute that we have, and let's see if we can add some value, right, from the students that are here. Okay. We have participants, some of our executive and residences, some of our other startup founders. They're listening in. Please feel free to give them feedback. You have 1 minute, Michael. Yeah, and right when I hit the top, I'll introduce myself. I can be Robert De Niro. Do you want to pitch Robert De Niro today?
Robert De Niro,
Okay,
sure.
I'll be Robert De Niro. Okay, because you're gonna meet me. You're gonna elevator pitch style. You're gonna meet me on the street. Okay, are you ready, Michael?
Sure.
Hi, Michael. I'm Robert De Niro. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Robert. How are you?
I'm very well. Very well.
All right. Well,
Tell me what you're working on.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No problem. Go ahead.
I wanted to tell you a bit about my company, Investment Science. So, Investment Science provides business driven strategic growth and technology enablement consulting services worldwide for mainly financial institutions. And we need
Okay.
to take a step back so everybody understands this. Investment Science is really a holding company for projects in which I'm interested in working upon. So I just described to you the consulting practice. 2019, 750,000 worth of revenue. Objective consulting without compromise, no strategic ties to vendors. We have
Mm-hmm.
another practice, which is real estate. My business partner, his uncle owns the Chrysler building. He comes from Goldman Sachs and Apollo's hedge fund. We're seeking close to a 250 million line of credit because our product I'm going to get into, Investment Lab, which gets everybody excited. Investment Lab is a two-sided marketplace that allows investors
Mm-hmm.
to be matched to modelers, financial modelers,
Mm-hmm.
startups seeking funding. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you want to create your own investment strategies, you can compete with everybody. The top 100 gets selected, which means
Mm-hmm.
$100 to invest goes into a different financial product, a different time frame, and a different strategy, which
Okay.
hopefully achieves alpha, meaning stable returns. And
Sure.
if these investments do not perform, they're thrown out of the system. So it's a
Got it.
constant sweepstakes.
Got it.
And
Now,
yeah,
Michael, I have to just, I got my private jet is waiting for me. How can I help you, Michael? Tell me. How
um,
about the one and only Robert De Niro? How can I help you?
sure. So depending on what you're interested in, if you know anybody that's an accredited investor that wants to invest in a real estate fund, or if you have
Okay.
6 million plus for our consulting practice to be spent on
Okay.
search engine optimization,
Tell me
or
about the second, there was that second product that you were talking about where you kind of connect the modelers with the investors. I like that. Tell me about what you need for that.
well, we actually need close to 100 million for the
Okay.
first round of funding because if
Okay.
you take a look at Robinhood, that
Yeah.
their first round was 75 million from legal costs, market data feeds. But if we take a step
Sure.
back, what differentiates our firm from most startups out there, we're trying to raise as much money as possible in our first round to almost be like a mini IPO, and we're taking all that cash,
Sure.
we're investing it in 1 to 2% of 50 different hedge funds in our treasury department. So think of our company, our treasury department is a fund of fund, 10 to 30% stable returns. We have not even got into our business model yet. You're already making money.
Interesting. All right. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I'll get back to you. Now, Michael, let's get some feedback from what you're doing. Now, here's my view. For the elevator pitch, because, you're the type of person, you have like a big, big master plan, right? You have like a Jeff Bezos type of master plan on a lot of things. Okay?
Yeah.
Correct? I mean, and so with the 1 minute pitch, it's very difficult to get that out. Correct?
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing to get out. And so what I would, the best thing for the elevator pitch is always to try to get one idea that really connects and really gets you going, and always think about who you're pitching to, right?
Right.
So when I was thinking about, because you brought up a couple of things, right? What I would have done is I might have switched it, right? When you think about an investor, think about Robert De Niro. I mean, he's a high net worth individual. He might have been somebody that could probably write a $250,000 check pretty quickly, right? That's kind of, not a difficult thing for him to do. So thinking about, that one product that you really want to get traction on, right? And because, the 100 mil raise, that could be for, some of the big guys, right? If you're raising $100 million for one component, but that whole the second product that you were speaking about, right? And I think that was kind of part of what we originally what I understood you were working on, where you connect investors with the modelers, and you kind of make sure that you have like smart people looking at it for a customized portfolio development. Is that correct, Michael? Am I articulating it well?
And Christine, thank you. I've been told that before. So I think the better way to articulate it in one sentence, you just focus on the product, because that product feeds all the funding into all the other services. But people try to say, what are the revenues? And it's like, well, Investment Lab has negative revenues, but we have other business units that have close to $1 million in revenue. And some people get more attracted to that, but I've been told that feedback over the years, just like it's too much, I'm overwhelmed, get very to the point. So I'll try to button that up a
That's
bit.
okay. No problem, Michael. But you know what? The consulting stuff is your thing just to pay the bills. I get that, right? And get the pieces moving. It brings revenue. But for the pitch, I wanted to hear more about this platform that you're creating.
Sure.
Because that is what's scalable. Consulting is not Robert De Niro. I'm not Robert De Niro. I can't really speak on behalf of him, but if I was Robert De Niro, I'm not interested in your consulting business. I'm interested in this scalable thing where you have, 100,000 modelers that are really focusing and developing a product. Because the way I see that product is you have two ways of you have in today's investing systems, right? You have people that are going at it all on their own with Reddit and Robinhood. Okay.
Yeah.
They're getting tips there and thinking they can do it. And then you have mom and pop that have like this old school financial manager person. Okay. And the product that you brought up kind of sits in between. And what you're saying is that you have some of the most intelligent, PhD data modelers, people that work for hedge funds, and that brain is going to come and create a customized solution for the new investor, the Robin. It's 5x what people are doing with Robinhood right now.
It's right? What Robinhood really should be. They got it wrong.
That's
they did
my
a
point.
lot of things right, but they got it wrong with a lot of other things, and even hedge funds and alternatives. With the laws from 10 years ago, you couldn't even market them. So those could become ETFs as well, meaning
that's
high net worth individuals, right? Now consumers can invest into those $100 each, and it gives them more investment opportunities. And we could filter criteria to have an ethical platform. We're not going to have any of those bombs that even Robinhood did. Everything's free and they don't tell how they make any money and they do all this shady stuff. We're not doing that.
Well, so in the 1 minute elevator pitch, we won't talk about shady stuff because that sometimes gets people scared.
You don't want to beg people, but it's like.
So tell me about that. I want you to dig deep a bit, Michael, because I want to give you an elevator pitch back just on this solution, right?
Sure, thank you.
Tell me a little bit about. Let's elaborate a little bit about this, right? So you have investors, okay, and you use the word modelers, right? That was the word you used. You just elaborate exactly what they do and why this is 5 times better than Robinhood or 10x better than Robinhood.
We'll start with that. So Investment Lab is 5 times better than Robinhood because it's what Robinhood should have been. So Investment Lab will match investors to modelers. These modelers will create investment strategies from data that most people don't have. So we'll give you 1 or 2 data points. CEO approvals on Glassdoor. Does that impact the stock price. I'm not aware of any platform that allows that. We have that data.
Okay.
Does weather impact it? But all the fundamental things of the ratios, technicals, whatever point of data you have, they can do it. But additionally, we allow startups to raise money through the platform, because today startups raise money and they burn through it, and some of them go bankrupt. 9 out of 10 fail. We believe that these startups should go into a treasury management component of the fund of fund I just described. So it's a holistic platform to match investors to modelers to entrepreneurs, even entrepreneurs who want to go public. It's an ecosystem, two-sided marketplace, transparent, ethical, with a code of ethics that are strictly enforced. Anybody who doesn't follow it's kicked off the platform.
Got it. So I want to talk, you match investors with modelers, and what these modelers are doing is they have 1,000 more data points than the average investor, and you're using data science to power it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so is it safe? And I don't want to, I'm not as experienced as you are, Michael, but when we think about like ETFs, right? Does this come like this? It's like ETF and data science together, so you get the best results. Is that something that
it's
huh?
The whole point of the platform is to have stable returns and the best results. It's the hopes of that. And that every dollar, so if you had $100, every dollar is going into a different item. So for example, the management consulting practice I own, I have a small company, some money could flow into there, and there's terms to that. But those terms in our platform say the money that flows into any startup is first going into hedge funds as a hedge fund administration, because many of these startups, they're very technical, they're very good at the business, but they mismanage their finances. And at a bare minimum, as an investor, can I at least get my money back? And you can from that methodology. Secondly, if we have the power of large numbers, if everybody's creating models, even normal consumers, make it very easy, like Zapier, right? A very easy drag and drop screen, very simple to do. If you're constantly competing, we always have the best models. And additionally, if any alternatives such as hedge funds or private equity firms are highly regulated, create ETFs, that allows consumers, again, the power of large numbers, very small investments to go into these investment vehicles that we remove the lock-in period. So many funds say, we lock in your cash for 5 years, you pull it out, we're taking 30%. We're having a code of ethics that none of that's going on. Only the best for everybody.
So Michael, here's your challenge. I think that you're probably smarter than most of the people you're going to be pitching to. Okay. This is the truth, right? And what happens is that I can tell you, you and I have spoken before. And what we want to do is, remember, as we're looking to raise money, you want to create your investment strategy and recognize who are the people that are going to be at your holding level. Okay. And who are the people that are going to come in at other levels of your company? For instance, investment lab is one maybe subsidiary of your master plan, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what we want to do is, when you're talking to an investor, we want to stick to the, so Robert De Niro, okay? Coming back to, Mr. De Niro, okay? And you get to be Robert De Niro now, by the way.
Okay.
Because I want to pitch Robert De Niro.
And
you look a lot more like Robert De Niro than I do, okay?
Thank you.
So I want to make sure when we talk to Robert De Niro, let's talk about Investment Lab, because I think that's the great thing. And what happens is when they invite you to your session to find out more, and they ask you questions around kind of the product itself and all the regulatory hurdles and all the other stuff, and honesty and protecting your principal and all the things that you just brought up now, you should have that appendix slide and you can kind of deep dive later. Okay.
I see.
For the elevator pitch, I want to make sure that when they speak to you, it's like, this is it. I get it. If I give some money, this is what I think I can get back. Right. And if I do really well, I also want to hopefully participate at the holding level, right? Investors like to do that, right? Robert De Niro, he wants to be at the top of the pie, right? Because he's Robert De Niro, right? So that's what I want from you, Michael, right? Because the thing is it's obvious to me that you have a big master plan, again, right? Just like Costa, right? You have $1 billion ambition. It could even be more, right? But at least you're not here to You're not here for the dollars and the cents. You have this big vision, okay? But what you want to do is remember that we start with something, right? And we go from there. So what I want to do is I want to pitch back Investment Lab to you, okay?
Okay.
I want to work on that. And to get Investment Lab, let's look at that subsidiary. How much money do you need to get Investment Lab going? Let's just talk about that. And let's talk about, like, there's ranges, right? Because you did bring up the fact that you're looking for up to $100 million, okay? But when we think about the first stage, right? Obviously, Robinhood raised a lot of money, but they did a couple of things beforehand. They might have had a private seed round of capital, or it might have been built by just rich people that put their own money in. But Michael, how much do you need to get Investment Lab going?
Well, if we're going the VC route, which we're not even allowing VCs to invest in this, we're only going seed route to family offices, because I come from.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
How much do you want?
We still want 100 million, because I want to do my IPO before an IPO. I need that. I'm not spending all that money though. I'm investing it.
Now, do you think that so let's talk about family offices. And for people that don't know what family offices are basically rich people that set up professional offices to invest their money. Okay. So for instance, recently the co-founder of Google, Sergey Brin, set up his family office in Singapore, by the way. Right. And we have our headquarters are in Singapore. So we were made aware of this. So you want to raise $100 million from a couple of family offices, I'm assuming, or you want one check from one person?
It could be.
That's tough,
it could be
right?
Either, or it could be 100
$10 million
small, or it could be 100 small, 1 million.
Yeah, 10 mil from 10 family offices, something like that. You're okay with that? Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So no problem. And I like that you've thought about that, Michael, right? You've said, I don't want VC, I want family office. And there's a reason for that, Michael, but the people that are listening in, there is a difference of an investor. So Michael, that's good for you to think about, right? So that you've thought about that. So you want the Investment Lab, you're looking for $100 million, okay? You're connecting investors with modelers. Give me 2 or 3 more value props. Why is it better than Robinhood is today? The 3 quick one-liners.
We provide transparency on how we make profits.
Yeah.
We allow people to create strategies where we cannot do that in Robinhood. We also allow entrepreneurs to raise funds and conduct an IPO through the software with a treasury management component, which really means for the investor, stable returns.
Love it. Michael, I'm going to pitch it back. You get to be Robert De Niro. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Introduce yourself, my friend. Go ahead.
I am Robert De Niro. I'm in the city by the sea. How can I help you?
Robert, great to finally meet you. I'm a big fan of your work. My name is Ash Singh, and I'm part of the Investment Lab team. As you might know, the world of investing has changed. Okay, you might have heard of Robinhood and GameStop on Reddit and how people are rethinking how the next generation of people are investing. What we've recognized is that although there's so much popularity there, we can do better. And the Investment Lab is better because what we're doing is we are allowing new investors to come on board and get access to investment opportunities, but also we connect them with what we call modelers. And these are data science driven people that give an average investor professional grade data points to make the best investment decisions. It allows an opportunity for them to build the best strategy for themselves. So it's more personalized and localized. And we give the transparency that Robinhood doesn't in order for us to make this work. We're looking to go big, Robert. That's why I'm talking to you, right? We're looking to go to family offices like yourself. We want to raise $100 million to make this work. And I'm looking for a $10 million check from you. I'd love to talk to you a little bit more over a coffee. We're neighbors. Maybe we can meet for a coffee at the local coffee shop. Thank you.
Sure, I'll write you a check. Thanks.
Michael, was that okay? Right? On the Investment Lab piece.
Yeah.
Right? I just focused there. Just focus there.
Better.
Right? Now, it's been a while since I've asked for a $10 million check, but I still tried to do it with as much confidence as possible and right. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to position you as the next generation Robin Hood. And then later on, when you talked about kind of fundraising and the later things that you could do, if you notice, I didn't bring that in because I don't think Robert De Niro wants to know about that right now. He wants to know about, how you are creating those customized strategies and how you're going to 5 or 10x Robin Hood. That's it. Okay. And I think that there's a great opportunity there, right? And Michael, I know that you're looking to raise money from family offices, and hopefully at the right time we can connect the dots, because there's some great family offices, obviously in New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, but the biggest outside of the U.S., there's London and there's Singapore. Okay,
oh, nice.
There's 400 to 500 family offices in Singapore, so hopefully we can help you connect the dots there as well. All right.
Yeah,
Michael,
basically saying just like keep it very simple for the, and then all the good stuff thrown in an appendix at the end. And if you want more
when they invite you, Michael, when they invite you over to their family office, you can have the fancy coffee, family office coffee, and all this other stuff, right?
Thank you.
Because if you need to have, right, you know what I mean? They're not using the Costco coffee at the family office, right? They might even have a live barista making you coffee. That's when you go into it. But Michael, what I want you to be able to do is, you have your consulting business and all the other components, right? I want you to raise the money, but have that journey where they're like, if you do this right, then I'm going to do this. And then if I do this right, then I'm going to do this. And that is the story that they want to hear, because what they don't want to hear is that you're going to take their money and kind of spread it across too many things. The thing is investors are very simple beings, right? They want just a return on their money, and they want to know that you are working on a home run. Okay. One home run, right? And so these are the components that I want you to think about. All right, Michael?
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Michael.